Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be putting together another flashback video article. So this is an article that I wrote in October 2015. This article is titled The Light of Flight. I just want you to know that I wrote this before I had come to the conclusions and realizations that I have now come to. And this was during the transitional period of me trying to figure out my place in the world, how the universe works, trying to get a grasp and understand science and technology and spirituality and religion and society at large. I was struggling to find answers to what was happening. I had the inspiration to write this particular paper, and if you haven't watched any of my earlier videos in my playlist called The Majestic Crystal Universe, I definitely recommend that you watch some of those videos. But that being said, this particular article, The Light of Flight, written late October 2015, is truly a standalone article, and you don't need to have seen any of my other work to understand the concepts and ideas that I was trying to convey. With that said, the reason why I'm turning this into a flashback video article is because the thought process I was going through is very fundamental to the concepts and realizations that I have now come to. I'm presenting this as a flashback video article for the archives. With that introduction out of the way, let me go ahead and read the article right now. Okay, so this article was written on October 28, 2015, and the title of this article is The Light of Flight. The Light of Flight. In the end, we are all programmed to act and behave in very specific and defined ways. When looking into the realm of the self, of oneself, we like to consider we are free. Above all, we are in control and completely free to speculate, calculate, think, observe, partake, and interact with all manner of thought and concepts, removed from tradition, logic, intellect, and society. We like to think we are in control, not only of our physical structures, but also our mental structure. Through age and experience, if common with all people, in parentheses, people don't actually discuss what they are really thinking and feeling, end parentheses. People like to think that they have a profound control of their existence, even if justified or objectified, approved or regarded or accepted by the existence of another or others, such as a group, people, humanity, community, or a quote-unquote higher power, or Jesus. People like to think that they can control and comprehend their thought and existence, and the very doubt of such control is linked to quote-unquote being human and reaffirms their existence and freedom of will. But this does break down, and there is true psychosis in the world, in humanity, and in each and every individual. Some take comfort in religion or a belief system, grabbing onto solid concepts and fundamentality, and this works, and they are able to exist and cope in their day-to-day activities. Now, remove all of that and tell yourself to be free and think. Math, science, love, society, spirituality, and infinite possibility. Unfortunately, you will find that you actually have blockers built into your subconscious that prevent you from expanding your potential thought power. Have you ever had the feeling when you were thinking about something or dreaming, drifting too far out of reality, when you had a profound collapse of your thought process and your mind seemed to clamp down and slam you out of whatever you were thinking about? Also, attempting to remove any local memory in the process so you almost completely forget what it was you were even thinking about, retrieving the memory becoming rapidly impossible? There are realms we as humans have been programmed not to think about. The limiters exist in each and every one of us. The questions and implications of these limiters' existence opens a door to restriction. Will you obey? I, for one, will not obey. I will not allow my mind to dictate what I do or do not have control over. You could introduce religion at this point or invoke inherent, interconnected spirituality that no one can shame or tarnish or take away from you, judge or degrade, though the attempt will always manifest itself as quote-unquote entitled spirituality, which is an oxymoron, as spirituality is the interconnectedness of all of us. I will remove all of this. I will look at the stars, the universe, and everything imaginable and attempt to prevail. As I, child of about 14 years of age, on a nice sunny day in a shady passageway, I was thinking about the stars, the size of the universe, and boom! My mind slammed shut. At the time, I was puzzled over the concept that the universe is infinite and never-ending, like the example of what happens if you shoot an arrow in outer space and it never hits anything. Will it continue forever? I remember the first time I was really thinking hard about this as a child on my way from one class to another. I remember the most bizarre and strange thing occur. At the time, I was actually very upset mentally, and I even remembered being physically upset and agitated at the idea that the universe went on forever. I had always experienced everything having a beginning and an ending, and this very thought structure was fundamental to my way of thinking. If there was anything in the universe that would break this fundamental rule, even the universe itself, I saw this as a problem. So, I was walking from one class to another on a lovely early afternoon, thinking about this, and I had an episode where my mind completely slammed shut, but it left me with some clues. I can still remember this occurrence like it happened yesterday. I was walking, thinking about the size of the universe and how it could go on forever, and in a flash of less than a millisecond, I thought I saw a massive, bright, whitish yellow light. As if my mind had its own eye and looked directly into the sun, instantly got blinded and slammed shut. What lingered in my mind was the realization of what had just happened. Physically jarred and mentally awash, I briefly spiraled in a hallucination of colors and unrecognizable concepts, and then snapped back into reality. Still shaken, I soon felt a calming feeling come over me that made my mental preoccupation with the size of the universe seem to be palatable. At this point, I distinctly remember that there were concepts that I simply could not form, some unknown quote-unquote understanding that would presumably sink in at some unknown point, if ever at all the while leaving me at ease and at peace with the day's thoughts about the universe and all the information available at the time. A fresh look at the universe would now reveal itself with new information and a better understanding of physics, concepts and information that can now be built upon to determine and explain outer space and inner space, and a realization and recognition that both must advance together. Human psychosis, mental inability, and inherent self-absorption, all the hallmarks of mankind. A stable and productive society, learning and interaction of concepts, values, and ideas openly traded and expressed without suppression and prejudice, pride, or predisposition, will allow humanity to look further and achieve essential prerequisite milestones to conquer and control our own environment and destiny. Extinction should not be an option. And if knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of both the physical and spiritual nature lead us to a conclusion that violates and or even flies in the face of some other belief systems, do we have to actually take action and even fight to hold truth to truth, not give in to the status quo or the complacency of mere existence at the behest of others? Biblical text and science are amazingly one and the same.
They start to get closer and closer together. In fact, at some point, at the very top, the difference between science and religion are indistinguishable. They are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they are together. They're one and the same.
Biblical text and science are amazingly one and the same. The more you know about the Bible and biblical text, and the more you understand science, the more you realize that the purest parts of the Bible are a roadmap to possibility and reality. One could even go as far as saying that ultimate knowledge and enlightenment could only have one possible outcome. For us to accuse ourselves of forsaking our Father, quote-unquote forsaking our Father, or overreaching and trespassing unto the realms of gods and unlimited power would only be the first indicator that we are not ready. A task set upon us all, achievement not possible for all, not in the current state of affairs. Headways into science will be suppressed and knowledge will be diluted. Religion thus far has failed to identify, let alone control, its own purpose and has been set about to control and corral more than to enlighten. For the individual to expand his purpose, knowledge, and ability to survive, he must start with himself and realize that, as a function of life, responsibility is no longer a luxury. Responsible for one's actions and responsible for one's future are paramount to the activities of all the people capable. Are you capable to learn, understand, and apply? Are you able to change, adjust, and prevail? Or are you ready to be complacent with an eternity of darkness and degradation? Will you confront and challenge the status quo? Now that was The Light of Flight. I wrote that in late 2015. I wrote this right at the point when I was really trying to figure out what was going on, and I was noticing that there was a lot of suppression to science, knowledge, and progress, and I just wrote it. It just flowed out of me. So just take it for what it is. I hope you understood that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned. I will have more videos for you shortly. Thanks for watching.